hard. Like what I've been doing is publishing it to YouTube. You can do it unlisted, right? Or you can do it to Zoom. I don't know where does it get stored when you record it to Zoom?
In Zoom's cloud. I don't trust that as much. So
I
yeah.
don't either. Yeah, but who's to say it's not already there? But yeah. Google is also a cloud. And where are their servers? So.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, please, Simon.
Then I think we can go on to the.
Yeah, so the main thing to discuss today, if anyone doesn't have any objections, so one is the event update from Simon, great progress on that. Second, we want to retouch accounting a little bit and see if we all agree and have consensus or want to change something or want to think on something else. Still, before we do something, then there is the C4C community, the coming meetup tomorrow and the few sessions. I mean, we basically went into a process of few sessions already. So what we want to do, how long we want to continue it, and what conclusion we want to make out of it, and should we, and what we start thinking toward June, which the fund starts. I think that's a good timing to discuss that, and know if you can lead that, that will be great. Melanie,
Sorry, what was that? I'm taking notes, so I didn't hear any of that.
So it's the process we are going through in the last few weeks, basically in the C4C community meeting. So how long we want to continue that, and then what conclusion kind of, or maybe we want to do 2 more sessions and then kind of have a session of conclusions somehow, or like interim conclusions, and then think how we prepare already for June, which is kind of new cycle of catalyst. So what we want to do there. I mean, I think it's good to start talking about these things from the community. Then we can have an update about the GTPBL about the token, the C4C tokens. If Melanie wants to give an update here, or we can keep it on Friday. And then what the Farah mentioned, raised up yesterday, which is collaboration with external sites. We basically came with potential collaboration through with the external website. So the Farah can present that and we can discuss that together. Anyone else wants to, any other idea, any other thing to add? And we have 45 minutes, so we need to go straight into that. Don't have a lot of time.
All right, so we have a meeting agenda, and also Abe is gonna be so nice to connect us with his, I think it was his sister, right? Who is a graphic designer. And we basically have a draft for the brochure. So you can all see that in the meeting notes from yesterday. Just sending you the link here. Yeah, so we have the Cardano for climate, blockchain, and impact. We haven't talked about who is going to present that, and we have suggested speakers, Melanie and Abe. Maybe one of you wanna take that up?
I won't host events. The last event, I was so anxious. You guys don't see it after I've taken my GABA, but it takes a piece out of me. So I'm going to just say no right now, right off the bat for that.
All right. Maybe Abe, would you be interested, or maybe we can ask?
Yeah, I'll need to look at my schedule a bit for work. What was the date again?
Yeah, that is another thing. We're going to set it back. And I'm sorry, I totally didn't get it yesterday, Yoram, but we're going to set it back to the 26th because the timeline changed as well, right? So the Fund 9 is going to start on the 1st
of June, yeah.
1st of June. So yeah, if we do it 1 week before that, it would. I mean, it's already 1 week before the fund launch anyway. So I think that is all right. There's still enough time for people to write proposals, for us to do like an easy onboarding for people if there's hopefully some interest from proposals. Yeah. The second topic is climate neutral Cardano, SBOs and impact. Yoram, I think you said you're gonna ask Christian for that. Catalyst School, how to come aboard, since we kind of said that is gonna be an educational one. I think that makes sense. Sustainable ADA.
Right, stories, impact stories on blockchain.
Perfect. And then we said we're gonna look into proposals that have been funded in the last round, which we will find out, I think, tomorrow. Does anyone know?
Yeah, we won. No, we don't know yet.
We don't know yet. But the Cardano Foundation is voting for like climate change. That's amazing.
I got you guys, huh?
That is huge. I saw that. I was super hyped. I was like,
no, well done for Cardano Foundation. Yeah, thank you.
Since this is recorded, thanks to the Ambassadors Guild. They put together the survey and the recommendation list for the foundation.
Nice. And yeah, so
I made in the impact funded proposals for 5 minutes each.
Perfect.
Yeah, and basically it's an educational. Sorry, Simon, please.
Yeah, I thought we can use the list that we have made Nori. So look at which proposals of that list have been funded and then pick 4 of them that want to speak at the event. So I think that also gives some room for them as well, since they now get funded. Sorry, Yoram, go ahead, please.
No, so the idea here really is not up to now. We had conferences that we call people from the community to come and see. This is a conference where we call people from outside the community, impact people, organizations, projects to come and learn about Catalyst. That's a big difference in terms of one big difference in terms of the audience. So this is why also the content.
All right, I think that's it from my side.
Okay, so the only thing pending there now, we need to finish the text, right? And then the Sister of Abe can be able to make a nice brochure out of it and text, so we can start sharing about it. I mean, content we have everyone here. I mean, I think so. We don't need external guests to approve. Just need sustainable ADA, okay for that. Yeah, and then Christian is on me. And good, great event. Well done, Simon. I think it will be fun. And we will need then to push everyone to market it. So we'll have kind of 1 week before, we will ask everyone to promote it to external companies and people and impact people. And
do we have a title for the event?
What was the title, Simon? You remember we were... What is the text we wrote, Simon, about it? Ah, the brochure. Yeah. No, don't have a title yet.
No, we don't have one yet. Any ideas?
Impact and blockchain. Oh, no. Okay, let's think about it. Any ideas?
The event 4. Where are we? 4? Is it 4?
I think it's. No, we're paying for 2. So it might be the 3rd one, unless there's another one that happened.
Look at the YouTube channel.
Okay.
No, it's the 5th already.
Oh, yeah, it is number 4. Sorry.
No, it's 5. The last one was 4.
Oh, okay. So there is another one.
We also had the two Twitter Space events prior to the event, the last one. So they're kind of for A, B, and C.
Yeah, incredible. Huh? We did already six events. I mean, well done, everyone. It's incredible. One after one, they become many.
I see one possible title that says on-chain your impact. Was that like a suggestion?
Oh, yes. I think that was one, right?
I think that sounds really intriguing to go see.
Oh, no, that was for the brochure.
Oh, my bad, sorry.
No worries.
Here we have a blockchain impact stories or impact stories on blockchain. Yeah, let's think about it and just suggest few names and decide on Monday. Simon, is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
On the event meeting, yeah.
Would make sense to use the one on the brochure as well. So whatever we decide on, right?
Yeah, and we need to finish the brochure before, no? This week somehow, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next. We have 10 minutes, we have 35 minutes. Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of sessions, or few sessions about, not a lot, but so although kind of we went through a process with the community and, our core team about the accounting, we still have, I think we still need to get to some kind of I mean, there might be an opportunity to think differently. Let's say it like that. Although we discussed it many times from different angles, it's good to, before we do the action. And yeah, so if there's any ideas to think on a different way, or to try and think on a different model, or that we want to reevaluate still things, it's better to feel that we're all comfortable with that than to rush and do something. That's, I think, my feeling at least. So, especially as the beginning, and we can, still be creative. So I don't know if anyone wants to speak about that. Yeah.
I know DJED's in testnet right now. What will help, or JED is in testnet right now and should be probably publicly released in the next couple of weeks or a little less than that. So that will be really helpful too. And for like the community events, like I know Ada went down a lot, like could just put that into JED. That's pretty awesome. But I don't know the exact like dates on that.
Yeah.
JED will certainly be helpful to make it easier to pay out if we have fixed prices. One thing I would love to maybe look at is becoming the second Littlefish colony, and maybe we experiment with some of that stuff, because it's kind of compelling to do work, create your thing, and then the community rewards you for that based on that. And then we'd have to figure out a way to, as a community, vote on which NFTs we purchase with our funds. But that might be an interesting way to do it. Or maybe we wait until our next funding round to start that and do whatever with our current, I don't know, but it'd be a cool way to really lean into the Littlefish theory. Rather than having bounties and having people do tasks for money, they do tasks and then they get rewarded for doing what they love, rather than picking tasks just because it can earn them some money.
Tell me more about that, Nori, because I haven't been following Littlefish. It sounds really interesting.
So Littlefish they have a white paper, and I'll drop a link in chat for that, but they're coming up with their idea of colonies and how to reward people for doing the work they love. If you look around the community right now, there's a lot of people implementing Dework, which is kind of creating bounties, tying it to GitHub issues, and then they put a reward on it. And then people come in and they say, oh, 100 ADA for doing this. I'm going to jump in and do it. And then they claim the reward. So that's the bounty system. Littlefish turns that on its head and says, I've done this work. Here's an activity NFT. And then the community goes through all these that have been produced and says, I value this, I'm going to buy it. And then they pay for these things. And multiple people can buy the same thing because they really value it. And then what the thought is everybody has kind of circles of what they're good at, what they love to do, what creates impact in the world. And when you find that centerpiece, that's called ikigai in Japanese. And that's really where you're doing what you love and creating the greatest impact in the world. And if you do just those things and create these NFTs and the community values it, they will pay for it. So it's like you're always engaging in a way that you love and can do your best work. And then the community pays for that because they find it valuable. So that's kind of the Littlefish model, which kind of is a big leap of faith, because to say, I'm doing this work, I may or may not get paid for it, but it really is a great way.
It's wonderful and it's amazing, but who is the community? In our case, who is the community that decide how much to give to who, right? So if it's one person deciding, we still need a mechanism to say, hey, this and this is great action, let's give him 200 data, right? Someone
we'll
has
have
to decide
figure
that.
it out as a community. Yeah. Those parts are still under development, but I think
it's very exciting.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be ADA. We could play with gimbals or a combination of both.
Yeah, of course.
There could actually be both systems too, though. If you think about it, Cardano for Climate has tasks that need to get done. They're pretty standard, and those could be a form of a bounty. And those are just put out there and they're collected. Other people will come along with these amazing ideas and say, this is something, why don't we do this? George comes along and he's got, a different perspective on things, project management, some other area that he's very gifted in. And he gives this gift to the community. And then all of a sudden we realize it. It's really great because, what I was seeing, the problem with the task is that it limits us to what somebody tells us is supposed to get done, instead of it coming from ourselves. So this could actually be really key in changing this, flipping the shit on its head. The system that we're in does not work. I don't get excited about coming to work or starting another job where I get paid, and this is the requirements for me. And I've been sensing that in the last little while, ever since, the funding comes up, and it's kind of like, well, does that change what I have to do? Am I required to do certain things because I'm now admin? It changes my motivation to do things for sure. So I'm not sure if that makes any sense, but I like the idea of doing both, the task oriented and figuring out how to generate it ourselves. What I see with the NFTs though is minting it, and those kind of things cost money. So if we can figure out how to do that off chain without the expense, keep track of things, maybe Littlefish is doing that. And then, when it comes to the actual, once it's been sorted out, because if I start doing work and I start minting NFTs for, say, socializing on Telegram, replying to comments, encouraging people to do something, and I mint an NFT, it costs me something. And maybe that's okay. You're in the game when you do that. But if I start doing that and I don't get any support for it, I'm going to be probably more pissed off. Not only was I rejected, but it also cost me something out of my pocket. So it would feel a bit scammy that way.
I'm guessing the way it's going to work is the C4C colony will have an NFT minting app that is funded from our wallet. So anytime you mint an NFT, it just comes from the community wallet rather than a personal one.
Okay, that sounds good.
I think but I think this is something that's still in development. So again, and we have, I mean, we can discuss it if we want. We can. I mean, this is very exciting, and Littlefish, I mean, is very exciting, and the meeting there is every Monday, and
every other Monday. It's every 2 weeks.
Every other Monday now, yeah. But I mean, they need a lot of help, and we can jump in and help through the mirrors, through the white paper. Everyone is welcome. Bring it now again. I mean, we need to make some kind of decision, and one decision can make. We don't want to make any decision. Okay, it's also an option, and it's fine. But we need to make a decision if we want to basically, yeah, not go forward with what we decided, and kind of, which is basically the little, if you want it a little bit, the Littlefish model. We are getting paid for something we did in the past. Or just put it on hold for now, figure it out in the future, and include it somehow in the future, or do something else. So, I mean, yeah, or not make a decision about it. I mean, it's also an option. Yeah.
You guys still need to write a closeout report to receive the last batch of funds.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
and this is Seomon is going to do, and I'm going to help him.
Yes, yes. So even if we decided to do that slides, there won't be enough to pay some of those people. But yeah, so maybe it's better to still give it some thought.
Yeah, we still need to do the final report to get the funding, the last funding. And
yeah, I'm happy to wait. It doesn't feel like the right time to divvy it up. Abe, can you put something in the chat? Can you speak to that? Retroactive, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, I heard it on a podcast, mostly in the Ethereum space. I haven't looked into it much, but it was a really interesting concept of like making sure that you're harnessing the community to pay for projects that have already been successful. What Nori was talking about really reminded me of it. And I think it's a similar concept. So kind of just playing off of what Nori was getting at. And I wasn't sure if anybody's looked into retroactive public goods funding deeper as a, I think they're talking about it as an algorithmic process in a sense. It's a little bit beyond my expertise, but I was hoping to tap into the group knowledge here on the call.
Yeah, that concept is built into Littlefish's ideas, right, where 20 years later, you and your colony could get paid for the work that was done 20 years prior because some future version of yourselves or your community or some stakeholder goes, wow, this impact was huge. We didn't know it back then, but we want to pay in now. And and I see huge ways of leveraging that for even like not cutting down a tree. It might be like a little NFT today, but 40 years from now, people can pay in because it's a huge benefit to the ecology or whatever. I think the model lends itself to this because you can pay into that NFT forever.
And that's amazing. And that's a little bit the model we did here, no? Up to now, to be honest, except of, I mean, no one got paid, everyone did whatever we, so just again, for that, I don't, for me personally, I don't see a reason to wait, except of that we don't have consensus. I think we have dedicated a lot of time and work and in the past. And
so how about going on needs? You know, like as far as I want to wait, there is a consensus. So I'm waiting with mine. Whatever would come my way, I can wait. If somebody doesn't
it's yours
want
and you
to
decide
wait,
what to do with that. If it's yours, you decide what to do with that. That's fine.
And then it's just like, okay, mine, whatever might be coming my way, hold it in the fund, in the C4C wallet. I'm happy with that. So if somebody wants to be paid, they feel like this is what they need, or if they see whatever's coming and they say, hey, what about this? You forgot this. And what about this? You know, we bring this up in the next couple of weeks. I think that's important, that everybody has the freedom to do what they need to do. Just to go back to what Abe said and Nori said, though, this retrospective is really important because it feels like our system has been like this. FOMO drives us to get into something now because it's going to turn into Microsoft in the future. And what happens is that that some people get wealth out of something that you do, and everybody else just gets this exchange, dollars for hours, dollars for ideas, and there's a few people benefiting from the impact of what we do now. And I think everybody needs to be able to receive a little bit from the work that they do. And maybe they don't see it. Maybe they're a Van Gogh and they don't see it, until afterwards, but somebody will benefit from the impact that they do today. Yeah, so the retrospective, I'm feeling like that's way more in line with what I'm doing, because I don't want to trade my hours for dollars anymore. I'm done with that. I need to know that what I do has impact now and into the future, that it will actually be something that I can pass on to my kids and my grandkids. It's not for me. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm ranting. It's been a while, so.
Yeah, it is a tough one, meaning we want to have value, and pay is not the main thing, but payment is required to kind of close our accounting process. So, it is very difficult to say what is project X for someone. Even from a project perspective, when we look at the technical field, it is like 5 of us come together and say, let's vote for all these tasks. Someone says it is 5 hours. Someone says it is 1 hour because I'm an expert. So if Andre says for treasury, it will take 1 hour, I'm going in to say, Andre, I will need 10 hours or 100 hours to do the same thing. So it is not one-to-one equivalent. And it is a tougher question. Sometimes we cannot really come to a good answer. And if I have to say, Yoram, let me consolidate all you did over the last 8 months, I need to do 80 video reviews and come back. So that is a totally different task. Then Yoram says, I already know it. Why do you want to do that? So it is always that balance, meaning where do we really get value, and how fast we can do it, leveraging the team inside. And so it is it is a tougher thought when we look at task and we have to put a value.
It's a tougher that on that, but I think, again, we need to think on this thing. First of all, you presented it as a need. I don't think it's a presentation of a need. It's a presentation, a need is something very deep, right? So it doesn't have to be a need. It has to be something that, in my belief, I think to scale impact, there need to be, it has to be some kind with a model that permit people to do the impactful things. And I worked for an NGO for 3 years. I met incredible people, wonderful people. But the bottom line is that we are not able to scale the impact, even with 300 people working for the NGO and working with so many other multinationals. We are not able to change it. So for me, that's one belief that I have. And around that. And second is how we create stronger engagement with people, right? So it's through mission and driven and so on. But people also have works to do and other things to do, so they cannot dedicate enough time, right? So each one dedicate as much as he can, because they have other things out there they need to do. But
from volunteering versus person dedicated in it, it is different, isn't it? Like sometimes I look at the volunteering as optional, and sometimes it is tracked, sometimes it is not tracked. So I worked with IEEE Smart Village, and we have a lot of attrition going through, meaning there will be 20 people in one conversation, and the next week maybe we may have 10 people or 3 people. So it's always the volunteer attrition is a difficult one, and how do we task load when, or direction wise, can we say we will be able to have so much impact of work? How do we scale when we don't have a clear set of volunteer team? So Yeah,
I think it has to be combined. It doesn't have to be the current system, and it can be Littlefish model. But also in Littlefish model, we speak about compensating people for their work. I mean, that's the bottom line of it. However we want to look on that, it's just we are compensating them after their work, right? So, and so, but still
based on value, isn't it? Like what you see as value,
yeah.
And it can have long-term value too.
Of course.
So even in this C4C, it's like that. You are already doing it, and we don't know the value what this will be 10 years down the line. So we are putting in some seeds, and it will keep growing. So what we say is not the final answer, meaning it is just what we saw now, and it is not perfect, but it is just an attempt.
So, but anyway, I think we are closing out of time, I think, and we need, I don't mind to wait. I mean, for me, I can wait. I mean, again, it's not a need for me. I think it's something that is right to do, but I don't mind to wait if we don't agree. And let's see. I mean, let's work on the Littlefish model, and it will be great. I mean, for me, it's more important the community and that we agree on the way and so on. But it's important also to say what I think that space. But I don't mind to wait.
Like Melanie said, if someone needs
more like a miscellaneous item inside, Andre, like we don't, if you are like what Melanie mentioned versus so is there like, do we have to allocate everything, or we have a small allocation set apart so that the rest of it can be moved out? So it's not like we don't have to make a decision on 100%. We say 90% is decided and 10% is still for open question, or a change based on need, as you see the program.
Yeah, anyway, we can still think about it. No reason to rush. And maybe we think about it for another week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and whoever wants to,
Well, it's very much segues into C4C GTPBL. You know, it's some things that we're talking about there on the Fridays. We skipped last Friday. Not a lot going on. I didn't know what was going on with Littlefish. You know, I've been focusing on the bounties from Gimbal Labs that aren't quite ready. James has put out a bounty to do the course in Canvas and work with that. So that's what I've been doing with that. There's still a lot of things up in the air with that. And I don't know, you know, is there a rush to get this done? You know, are we in a panic to get this done? Do we have a deadline? I'm not sure that we do.
There's no rush.
Yeah, maybe.
There's no rush.
We just keep working on it, you know, and then taking breaks every now and then to clear your head and figure some stuff out, and then, you know, keep coming back at it. So what I find though is if we get tired of what we're trying to do something new, we resort back to what we know, and then we just sort of slip back into the old routine, and then all of a sudden we haven't really changed anything and we've missed an opportunity. So I'm really game for hanging in there a little longer, and you know, maybe by the end of the summer we'll have something figured out, something reasonable. But and then the other thing is with the ADA, maybe we just hold it in the wallet and it does go up again. You know, I'm not a one to do the FOMO thing, but there is no panic on my part to get my ADA out of there. I'm happy to let it sit. I'm in this for the long haul. So yeah. And the other thing is maybe that ADA that's sitting in there, we can figure out how to turn it into something more. It's like the idea of eating sprouts or eating seeds versus planting seeds. Maybe we just store this crop for something else. Maybe we store these seeds, this seed funding for something else, and that we always have it. When we first started, Simon had to use his own credit card for the Zoom account. We have a little kitty now, you know, that we can use. Maybe we decide to go and mint NFTs or somebody needs some funds like Pike. You know, we have this opportunity to take, you know, it has to be agreed upon, you know, by everybody in it. I'm happy to see that happen as long as I'm in that decision, you know, that it doesn't go, oh, Melanie, your funds are here. We're going to take them and do them for something else. It would be important to have some sort of consensus on that. But
how we decide what is your funds?
exactly.
I mean,
So maybe
we
it's
need to be
percent.
concrete. I mean,
let's do, you know, that's the other thing is we look at it as money, concrete figures. Why not a percent? You know, because if you think about it, Cardano for Climate is 100% everybody that's in it. And some of them have, you know, some people have 0.003% involvement. Some people like yourself, Yoram, are, I'm going to say more like 40%, you know, driving this. And when I come and go, I'm maybe 25%. And then there's other times that I shift to a 50%, who knows? But, you know, we're all part of this in these flexible percentages. We are a share. Yeah, we share Cardano for Climate, because then if we think of a percentage, it's our community,
so
our Cardano for Climate.
My suggestion is let's have a workforce working on that, maybe together. But let's. I mean, there need to be either we just don't do anything and put it there.
Let's do it. We'll work on it on Fridays with the C4C GTPBL, because that seems to fit in there very well. And, you know, if people want to do that, at one point I had tried to do it for the meetups for a breakout room, but that maybe is too much. Maybe once a month we'll take a breakout room and present it to the community and get feedback on that.
Okay, so let's discuss it there. Yeah, sorry.
Go ahead. I think we both want to do the same thing. Go on to Tefera, right? Because we have only 10 minutes. I just wanted to throw that out there that we have 10 minutes.
I have a question. Do we have afterwards the gimbal token today? It's happening in the meeting in 10 minutes or no?
It's probably an open one.
Okay, but do you want to stay? Also, you know, I mean, you have to have your topic, or you want to go there to the open one? I mean, normally it's interesting to go there, but
yeah, I'd like to go, and it'll just put pressure on next time to get through the topics faster and not spend too much time on any one topic.
Okay, so tomorrow, what do you suggest to tomorrow? If you do 2 minutes or 3 minutes, what do you suggest tomorrow, and then we'll go to the Tefera?
We can go over the survey and really start to look at the patterns that emerged. I think there's a lot of people who actually filled it out, so that should get some interesting data out. And then whoever's interested, we can use that to start to craft like a why document.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
So if we can share again the link, maybe all of us share again the link, or you know, we can share the link for the survey. And Melanie, if you didn't fill it up, also would be great. And everyone else.
And definitely go back
in the groups.
There's probably additional things that have been added by people. So if you went early, go back and vote on the new stuff.
Perfect. And we can add also the subject actually of the payments there, maybe. That would be nice as a survey. That would be cool.
Yeah. Why don't we start a new poll list just on how should we spend the funds? And then maybe we'll see some kind of consensus emerging. That'd be a truly async way of doing it, rather than at some meeting that only a handful of us show up to. Like, this isn't the whole community. This is just people who can make it to this meeting.
100%. 100%. So this is very cool, this pool. Okay, Tefera, the floor is yours, sir.
Thanks. Can you hear me?
Yep.
May I share my screen, maybe?
There you go.
Okay, thanks. Let me see. I'm not able to share.
It looks like you're frozen to gain.
Yeah, it's me. Okay, can you hear me? That's okay.
Yeah.
We can hear you.
Okay, I have posted a link to Locke Hoffman's Institute.org. I myself found out about him, in fact, after I have seen this. It was posted on Cardano for Climate Discord channel. And the guy is, he was one of the co-founders of World Wildlife Fund and also Ramsar Convention. And they have, he has passed away, and there is a foundation on his name. And there is an institute which is, which has a lot of connection with organizations such as, of course, universities, Oxford University, Future for Earth, and Montaya Impact Hub. And they have a lot of connections. And they have this challenge on their website that I'm going to post on the chat. And that seems really fits with the C4C. So I'm thinking, I started kind of filling the application for the challenge. It's going to end on 22nd May. So what I'm thinking is if we can do it as a Cardano for Climate application, then we would have some credibility and some traction, and we would have we would have got some network for the future. And I think that's all I would like to say. And you have the links. I'm still frozen. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
That was what I was thinking.
Yeah, I think it's a very good idea. And actually, today someone else contacted me also from the community and said there's something called Uplink that is also offering grants for different climate change proposals. So maybe there's an opportunity somehow to approach all of this organization with Cardano for Climate, and then kind of make a connection between proposals that can also present in other locations. And that's very interesting. So instead of having proposal contacting, we say, hey, look, we have here many proposals related to impact and blockchains, and we can do the connection. And every time there is a program from your side, like the one that Tefara just mentioned, so then we say, okay, we present it to the community and they come up with the proposals. That might be an interesting activity for us to kind of promote going forward. Thank you for bringing that, Tefara. Well, what do you think?
That sounds very good. I think we have a little bit of time now, so we can continue to discuss, for example, tomorrow after on a breakout room and see what we have time. It's 22nd, the deadline for the application.
Yeah, it'd be good to focus on one or the other, though. Yoram, are you pursuing the uplink?
And I just got it today from someone, so I didn't do anything about it.
So Tagain has brought this to our attention, and are you willing to look into it further, Tagain, and write up application if?
Yeah, I have already started. I have already started filling out the application. It's like the application form is like individualized, that an individual or 2 or 3 people can apply together. But I can mention that we have a community called Cardano for Climate, and if I get some of the people here, for example, to mention inside what you have done. For example, Melanie, if you don't have to do really a lot. I can do it the entire thing myself. I don't think it's going to take much of your time. But if you want to be part of that, it would be nice to have people who have.
Yeah, because unfortunately, without sharing the screen, you have to sell us on the idea of applying. And then maybe at the meetup, you can generate more. Is that going to conflict with other stuff that's going on at the meetup though? Like multiple rooms, which meetup hasn't been discussed yet. And we lost again. He's off the screen. He must have locked out entirely.
No.
Sounds like he has the same issues as I do with sharing the screen.
So meetup, is someone working on that one? I think that's the last agenda item. Or are we skipping over to Gimbal Labs?
Yeah, no, I think it was, first of all, great to have you here. And great to have everyone, and Cole and Andre and the treasury. I mean, we are making crazy a little bit the Treasury Guild, but it's okay. I think it's good. You got used to us by now, that we are different. But yeah, thanks for everyone being here, and Simon for leading the event, and Yoram for giving your spirit. I mean, you had incredible session last week. Obviously Nori and Cole and Eb and George with your good present, always great. So yeah, thank you for that.
So tomorrow for the meetup, we're primarily doing the why discovery and maybe Tegane's proposal to collaborate with this group.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. We can do that.
Maybe